Hello everyone, welcome to my channel English Literature with Sumi. So today in this video we are going to discuss about the prose section of the Anglo-Norman period. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So let us discuss about the prose section. Prose section, there are only two divisions in the prose section. The Ancrine Revel, it is one of the most important of the early prose text of the period. Now, its date is not easy to decide, as I have already mentioned in my previous lecture that the authors, as we can find in the Anglo-Saxon period, they do not mention the date of the works, and they also do not mention their sign. So, this the date is not easy to decide, but can be ascribed to the 12th century. So, this 12th century we cannot take it as an exact date, but it can be considered as belonging to the 12th century. It is just an assumption. Then this was written as a manual designed to guide three noble ladies who had become anchoresses. Now this is a manual guide to the ladies who had become anchoresses. Particularly it was dedicated to them, but it was read mostly by the ladies of that period. The most characteristic feature of the author in the work is his broad humanity. So, in this work, the author, whoever wrote it, we do not know his name, but the author, his main focus was on humanity. The homely elements in the work attract the modern reader. So, the homely elements that we can find in this work, it attracted the modern reader. Next is the Ainbite of Invite. It was written by Dan Mitchell of Northgate in 1340, and who comes from Canterbury. So it is actually a translation of a French work, but it is a bad translation because it is not exactly a real and good translation of the French work. Now, from which French work it was translated, it was not known. So this work, it is of little importance from the literary point of view, but its importance can be seen in its dialect because it is written in the southeastern and Kentish dialect. Now let us see how the literary forms developed during this period. First, let us see how poetry developed. Meter. So main feature of the period is the development of rhyme meters. Now these rhyme meters, it displays the alliterative line of the Old English poetry. While discussing Old English poetry, I think I have told you that alliteration was mostly used. So Layman, while writing in the alliterative meter, he shows clearly that it is false to look at the period from the point of view of meter as a steady development towards rhyme verse. So we should not consider a work from only its development towards a certain way or towards a certain goal. We should see it as a work having its own qualities. While Orme used neither rhyme nor alliteration and becomes his work, that is why his works becomes remarkable for the regularity of his verse. So he was one writer who neither used rhyme nor alliteration in his works. So experiments with meter are often to be found in this period. So there were many experiments conducted by authors or writers during this period on the meter that is used in poetry. Now come to the lyric. Lyric is also used in poetry. The lyric has the greatest appeal in the period for the modern reader. So modern reader, they find interest in the lyric used in poetry of that period. So many of the early lyrics were religious in theme and tone, while the secular lyric is also well represented by what is known as love lyrics or having subjects from nature. But to differentiate between these two lyric classes is difficult, because when we talk about religious lyric, we also think of it as secular lyric, because the word secular, we usually use it from a religious perspective often. But these secular lyrics were those which has subject matter from nature. So it is difficult to differentiate between the religious lyric and the secular lyric. Then we come to the romances. We already know that the influence of the romances was French, but the romance was thoroughly acclimatized. Acclimatized means it adjusted in the Anglo-Norman period very well, and as the period progresses we could find many examples of romances. Although all the romances were not good, but there were many examples of authors who wrote romances. The story is usually long with many intricacies of plot. The element of supernatural is often introduced. So these are the characteristics of romances. Now whatever be the element or whatever be the storyline, but one thing is important is that they provide the readers with a rich treasure house of wonderful tales. Now when you pick up a romance or a medieval romance to read it, you will find many stories lying within it, and you will be interested to know further what happens in the story. Let us come to the development of another form, that is prose. Not much is known about the development of the prose, but the prose for the main part is strictly practical in purpose. The prose, like as I have already mentioned, Ancrin Riveley, etc., has been accepted for its true value. I have already told you that Ancrin Riveley is the most popular prose of that period, and not much prose works were preserved from that period. So, let us come to the development of style in poetry. Here I am mentioning only about poetry because the prose works were very less in number, as I have already mentioned. So, the poetry of the period has developed greatly from the stylistic point of view, as I have already mentioned about the meter, the lyric, or the different romances. There are touches of humor of a grim kind here and there. So, in some of the poetries, we could find that there are humors present or written by the author, but it is of a grim kind, that is of a very less value. Then there are also elements of pathos in the poetry. That means in the poetry we could not only find about humor or laughter, we could also find about pathos in the poetry. Overall, we can say that a development of style is lucid in poetry. It is firm, that is fixed, controlled. Control means it does not cross its limits, and it is superb. So overall, it is lucid, firm, controlled, and superb. So that's all for today. This was the second part of the Anglo-Norman period, that is the prose section, development of literary style and development of literary forms. So if you have not checked my previous video on the Anglo-Norman period, I will provide the link in the description box. You can visit the link and check out the video. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon for the latest notifications.